Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are going to do some more furniture stuff, but not in the sense of decorating. I want to show you guys the furniture supply chain. And for that, of course, we need to start at the lumber mill, getting logs to the sawmill, and then bringing things over to the furniture factory and going on from there. So there's a lot of stuff to do today. So let's start by getting the logs and bringing them over. I was considering maybe just starting at the sawmill since we've done this already, but well, I think for completionist sake and just showing the entire process, I think this is where we really need to get going again. And let's see how this works out. The entire thing is a lot tougher and slower than I remember. And that is to say something because I've been on the TWL server occasionally, and yeah, a lot of the stuff that I did there was just this particular job, just refilling the sawmill because people kept just completely emptying it out. We'll talk more about this stuff in a moment. There's another whole topic that I kind of feel like I need to get into at this point. Um, I mean, videos have been a bit scarce recently, and that's not really just me losing interest in the game. It's more, well, to give you guys the briefest rundown, times have been tough. There's some stuff going on with my family that's anything but pleasant, and, well, I don't want to turn this entire thing into a trauma dump and just talk about it the entire episode. I don't think that would be really what anybody's in for here, but I think I want to give you guys a bit more detail. So what I'll do is in a moment, once we get to the road, I'll tell you guys when to possibly skip ahead if you don't want to hear anything about it. I'll be giving myself 3 minutes of time to talk you through what has been happening with my family, and yeah, if you want to skip ahead, that's all fine and good. I absolutely get it, but I kind of don't just want to remain completely silent about it. I think it's good to talk about stuff occasionally, but I also don't want to turn this into just a full-on trauma dump for, again, like the entire episode. So, on the count of three, if you want to not listen to anything like that, I'll just be, well, I'll be on the road here and I'll be still on the road for, once we get through those 3 minutes. So skip ahead to about 6 minutes and I should be done with what I want to talk about. Three, two, one, let's go. Yeah, let's go. I don't know. So first up, and this is really the big part about this, my dad is, I think he was about 61 when it happened. He had a stroke, basically from stress. Had a job he didn't like. He had some issues trying to keep the family afloat, and yeah, stress from all different directions. And at some point, it resulted in him having what I think is still a minor stroke. He's still trying to recover. He still cannot use his left leg and arm all that much. He can do some slight movements, and the doctors say that hopefully he'll recover about 80% of his movability at some point, unless it just stops at some point. It's not clear. It's annoying, and while my dad has been in good spirits for the most of it, I mean, a lot of stuff that he had planned for uh, his life after work is kind of just, yeah, it's really in the balance right now, which sucks a lot. But yeah, if it was everything, it would have still been quite the shock, but okay, can deal with that. Next thing that happened, and that was shortly before last Christmas, his dad passed away. Surprisingly, very suddenly, and the annoying part about this, and really the saddest part, is that while I had to travel across Germany in order to at least say goodbye, and at that point, when I did the journey, I wasn't even aware that it was gonna be goodbye. I only basically found it on the spot, and that was its whole can of worms. Thanks to him being pretty much disabled at this point, my dad could neither go to the hospital and say goodbye to his father. He also couldn't attend the funeral at all, and I've never seen him this broken. So yeah, it took him a few months to recover from that as well. I think he was at the point where he got better, but well, what happened last week is he almost lost sight on his left eye. Basically, the retina started to come off, and yeah, then he had to get some oil in there in order to keep everything stable until he can have a surgery and have that all recover. And that caused him to fall over, basically land on his nose, and it's not broken, but he basically had a wound on there, and it's the whole thing. So yeah, I think at this point, that's about all the stuff that I wanted to say about this before it just gets too long and long-winded. So let's go back to the task at hand and everything around here. And yeah, I'm gonna make a hard cut here for the people who just wanted to come back and not listen to the stuff that I said in between. I know these have been touchy topics that I've just been machine gunning out for the last 3 minutes, and yeah. I'm sorry if this is not what you signed up for. Trust me, neither did anybody in my family. Okay, but happier stuff now. We are about to approach on the sawmill. I used to try to carry up the logs up over the hill and come down on this side, which is a more direct route, but it's also far slower because bringing up this heavy kind of load, carrying it up any grade, is not particularly easy. So yeah, I think this might be the better route. Definitely feels a bit easier to deal with. I haven't really done much trucking in the recent past, so I don't know, this feels incredibly slow right now. Honestly, I haven't really enjoyed this particular job too much, so I try to stay away from it as much as I can. But I also should tend to my buses for a moment. They've been doing the work. The session is not quite that old yet, and I mean, they are making a decent amount of money, I would say, apart from this one, but that's due to the very poorly designed route going back and forth through for OG here. I hope to expand this with the next update. Maybe there will be another few destinations. I don't know for sure, but I know that pretty much there will be a few more and hopefully better options for log transporting than what we have here right now. Really looking forward to seeing that, because this thing doesn't really do it for me. Neither in terms of how heavy it is, nor with how much you transport at the time. But anyways, let's get rid of the trailer here, because we are going to need something different in order to do the next part of delivery. I was also considering maybe getting the matey for this job, because theoretically, from what I've heard, you can actually stack the planks that you get from the sawmill and just deliver multiple ones on that and just kind of go over what it actually is supposed to be able to carry. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna work out. We need the flanker. I don't think you can do it with the flanker trailer or any of the other trailers. I think once you double stack the planks, you basically cannot really strap them down anymore, and the matey apparently doesn't have that problem. So while we likely would only end up transporting two at the time, it would be much more profitable because, well, once you have one load of planks, the game basically considers the Métis fully loaded, and at that point, if you add more to the mix, it doesn't really slow down your production. Okay, this is something that I've been a bit afraid of. We have 9 planks in there now, but only one of them goes to my intended location. So we may be stuck here for a moment, waiting for hopefully 2 more to arrive here. I mean, I might as well get out and just strap things down. Just gonna make sure the entire thing doesn't roll off. And you know what's funny about the rain? Just before I started the episode about 10 minutes ago, the rain actually stopped. But now it's back in full force, so maybe I'll just turn it off again. I think it's really not working too well. I could also go with low amount of rain, but I think it's more about... I think it would change more about how long it rains for and not about how often it starts to rain. I would really like to have decently long amounts of rain time, but only having it happen ever so often. But dang it. I don't know when they even added construction sites as a location here, but this is kinda... It's ridiculous. Usually from what I think about this stuff, primary delivery point should still be the furniture factory, and we are not getting anything for that. And I'm pretty sure that I never did any deliveries to that from over here, so yeah. Maybe we get a few more once we get this stuff going. I don't want to just keep on making deliveries over here. As I said, I don't really like the log stuff right now. I hope it gets better with the next episode, so... Yeah, if we get some stuff going in a moment, then that will be fine. Otherwise, I may end up scrapping the entire episode, I guess. Construction site number 3. Ah, come on. Ah, furniture factory, another single load, yeah. Oh, we get another one. Thank God for this. I've been playing too much Baldur's Gate, and now I'm saying gods in plural because, yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, in the end, the gods of the game are the developers. So that kinda checks out in a weird way. Yeah. But yeah, one thing that I wanted to mention, I have this whole thing planned about showing off the different asset packs that have been used for the game and talking about that stuff, but I think I need to be in a really decent space of mind being fully there, and let me tell you guys with how things have been going in the recent past, I just didn't feel good and feel well enough for that kind of thing. So that's why all of that is on the back burner right now. I think that's one that is kind of important to choose my words properly, because it is a bit of a touchy subject and I don't want to represent it in a bad way or in an untruthful way. So yeah, that's something that I'm pretty aware of right now. But yeah, with the Métis apparently you can stack the stuff up way higher and therefore make more profit. I think that would also... Oh no, I think the Métis might actually have medium duty engines available only. If it had heavy duty engines, I think it would be the preferred way of dealing with all of this stuff. After all, same power, but far less weight and everything. I don't know, I kinda want to buy it at some point. It's something that I don't really care much about when it comes to the overall deliveries, just the regular stuff. But I think there are some very niche things where it would really shine, and maybe just for that purpose it would be nice to have that stuff. I really shouldn't be overtaking the cop car. I think that's gonna give me a wanted level. But it's also so annoying just sticking behind them. By the way, when it comes to properties, I think this is the last one right now that's on my list that I definitely want to get sooner than later. Maybe building up more high-end living space somewhere in Gangyang. That could also be nice. I mean, I could still just overhaul my starter house as well. It's kind of looking pretty sad now that yeah, I have a bit more of a proper place to live at my headquarters. I also put some furniture into the Gappa residence. Not entirely done with that. Might show it off in the next episode or something, or sometime soon at least. I don't think it will be the next episode actually, because I'm kind of trying to get a few recorded, at least 2 of them today. So there won't be much space in between this one and the next one, and I have a few minor things that I still want to add. Yeah, I mean, that's reasonable. I shouldn't have rammed that guy. Yeah. Also low fuel running now. The funny thing about this, I tried starting the episode already a bit earlier, and I completely butchered the part where I tried to talk about the family stuff. And then I decided to just do the delivery without recording, and then went back to the logging area, and I should have maybe gone for a refuel before that. It's fine. It's gonna work out. I hope. That guy is keeping his distance, which is kinda decent. Feels more like TWL stuff going on right now, because on there, if you encounter somebody with a heavy duty vehicle, especially with a trailer, you're also supposed to only tail them and just yeah, drive after them until they stop at some point, most likely at their delivery destination. It's one of those things that I think are really good about that server. Just there are a few restrictions when it comes to police. You cannot just go on there and do police work from the get-go. You actually have to apply for the role. But basically anybody, even if they are completely new, you can get that. It's just that you are not, well, you are supposed to follow a few additional rules in order to make it fair and fun for everybody. Because there are definitely quite a few ways where a police officer could be a bit of an ass with how they behave on the server. And it's really just about an additional set of rules to make it sure that everybody still has a good time there. Yeah, come here, just get me. Also, why am I going here? This is not my destination. I just completely blanked out on that. I'm supposed to bring the stuff to the furniture factory, not to the warehouse. Can you please leave? This is kinda awkward now. Okay, maybe I can do it like this. Also, really need to go to the gas station. Maybe I should do that before doing the actual delivery. I think that might be reasonable. Just gonna push that guy aside because he's just in the way now. But we are out of here. So yeah, TWL server, pretty good for a lot of stuff. Nice community and everything. And yeah, one thing that I really like about them is that they don't do exclusive stuff. There are a lot of restrictions when it comes to things like property. I think right now They're basically used as headquarters for the different other things on the server. We have some subdivisions for transporting, for tow trucking or racing, that kind of thing. I mean, tow trucking isn't really a subdivision, but I'm blanking on the proper thing. There's definitely one for tuning and racing, one for just trucking and that kind of stuff, and the different ones are now getting headquarters. And with how property is handled right now, I'm not entirely sure if they allow people to rent out stuff. Hopefully that can happen in the future, but the cool thing about it is that it's basically an all or nothing approach. So the same with the buses. It's not really feasible right now to have the company buses on a multiplayer server, at least not with anywhere near as many people as on the TWL server. So they basically disabled it for everybody. I mean, you can still do bus driving yourself, but you cannot have the buses just go around on their own, driven by AI, because that definitely has a performance impact. So they're not just doing like admin buses or something like that. It's not viable for everybody. So right now it's a restriction that nobody can use it. And yeah, I think the stuff that they are doing there are pretty reasonable. Although honestly, and this is the other part that I wanted to talk about regarding that server, I haven't been on there for a while in a major way. I do the racing events when they occur, and they have been a bit scarce recently. I think the event organizer also has some personal stuff going on and just scheduling issues, so yeah, that might just be the reason for that. But yeah, when it comes to just being on the server, playing on there, I think overall it's definitely a good time. But for some of the stuff that I've done here, it just doesn't really work out. Like with my bus company that I now spend a considerable amount of time and money into, I just like it too much to be missing out on that, and it also kind of affects similar stuff like bus driving yourself. You kind of need some buses to be set up in order to make enough or get enough people over to Gangyang and other major terminals to just really have enough people to transport to begin with. Okay, here we are. Furniture is being produced. We should be getting like 18 pieces out of there. Okay, Gangyang Furniture Store, that's definitely one of the locations. And this would also be one where I can maybe use the Tronco. I'll just see what I can load up onto this one right here. Can I load two of those sofas side by side? Yeah, that doesn't work. That's a bit sad. Just gonna unload. And yeah, the furniture store in A-Wall is usually the better destination there. Also, yeah, some of them are being rotated, which likely is a bit better for space. Do we have something really large? I don't know. Could maybe go with some of these. Oh, that's already the 18 items, so... Yeah, not enough cargo to load. Oh, these ones will fit side by side. Eh. I could still load one more, but I don't know if that's really gonna be amazing if I cannot put it to the same location there. I think I did some of the loading a bit poorly here, but we'll see about that. Okay, I think these are the slightly larger sofas, so what I want to do is let's unload some of the stuff here. And I think what I need to do is I need to get one of these first, then one of those. Maybe a second one of these, because then the next one should also go side by side. And that's all looking pretty nice in there. As far as I can see with, yeah, it being nighttime again. So let's strap down what we have here right now. I mean, maybe... Oh yeah, I can push them by hand. This could be interesting if there were other options for loading the stuff. But yeah, this is pretty compact now. I just don't know if I have any more stuff in there. Also, that thing is gonna reset once I load more items on there. Do I want to bring things over to the Gangyang furniture store? It's a bit tough to get into from here. Okay, I can only load up one item. Maybe we'll get a few more things to the... Apparently not. I hope to get more items to the other furniture store. Okay, one of them at least. That looks all kinds of weird. So I guess we would have maybe one more space, but with how it's been oriented right now, I'm not entirely sure if I can even fill that up. Doesn't seem like it. The thing about the other furniture store is that you really want to do that delivery with a smaller vehicle. Like the Tronco, I think that would be one of the prime reasons to have that and use it. Because that's a way smaller space to have to navigate through. It's at the back of the building as far as I remember. So you kind of have to go through an alleyway, and while it might still be wide enough for this trailer, it's a whole deal. And in the end, with cargo scaling, it might just be more profitable just doing it with a vehicle where you can do it quickly and just go for lower capacity, higher pay per item, and then make it work that way. Also, I know that this episode is gonna be another pretty long one, but in order to show off the entire thing, I guess that's what it's gonna be. I was considering maybe shortening the episode length, just making it like maybe half as long, and then we would have basically a lot of two-parters. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. I kind of want to do the stuff that I set out in one episode, but we could also just turn it into a continuous thing. Do half of the delivery now, do the second half in another episode. I know that for some stuff I myself prefer longer episodes. Sometimes it can be annoying finding a good time slot for it when you really want to watch it, but I don't know. With how things turned out, I feel like the 30-minute mark is something that just came quite naturally for this stuff. And trust me, I tried keeping the episode shorter. It just doesn't work half the time. But yeah, another thing I want to talk about regarding the TWL server, or just getting back to the point that I started making. While it is an amazing server and I really like it, once you get into bus driving a bit more, it just doesn't work out without any company buses to do other different routes. So that's a bit of a shame. I hope it gets improved at some point soon. Also, okay, it's trying to get me go through there. I'm just gonna go across the island and then use this road right here. I think that's gonna be more straightforward. I was just really surprised about the route the game was suggesting to me. just that on the TWL server with buses, it doesn't really work out, and also when you do stuff where you really want to fill up a certain company with supplies and then do other runs later down the line, like things that I like to do with crates, for example, the military stuff. I just load them on, do a bit of AFKing if I'm just doing something else on the side. Maybe I'm cooking or cleaning or something, and I just come back to the PC every 10 or 15, 20 minutes, whatever. I load up the crates once they respawn, and then I bring everything over to their destination, and then just return once. Basically, I just keep the crates in there, and only if I really need some money, then I come back, and yeah, it's basically like an investment at that point, and I withdraw whenever I really need it. And that's just something that you cannot do on the TWL server. People generally respect that the crates that you deliver to a certain point are also the ones that you want to get back from there. But if you just deliver the crates and leave them there, somebody else is gonna pick them up sooner or later. So for things like that, single player is definitely the way to go. And I think the only way of maybe quote-unquote fixing that would be to instance stuff like that. But that would also remove a huge amount of cooperative potential for this game, where some people do some parts of the supply chain and others do the rest. And that wouldn't be too amazing either, so there's definitely a bit of... there are a few options that could be taken, but they are basically all a trade-off. It's no real ideal solution. And that's partially down to some people wanting to play the game differently from others, which is, of course, perfectly fine. I was considering to maybe go down a different route with that sentence and just be like, that's absolutely forbidden and you should all be playing exactly the same, just to be a bit of an ass for a moment, but no. I mean, the game is about choices in the end. And it's kind of a cool thing that there are so many different things to do. I mean, we are almost at 40 episodes, and while there has been a bit of repetition here and there, I think there are still a few more new things left. Prime one amongst them right now would be the... okay, I just want to be lazy and hit this thing. 6K, I mean, it was a quick delivery, it's not amazing, but this also allows us to now get a final delivery to some places, to some residents, and that should be very cost effective. We might do some of this in another episode using another vehicle, but for now I think that's gonna be it from my end. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say, I completely got in my own way there. It's kinda cool how many different activities there are in this game already. I certainly had a bit of repetition with some of the stuff that I did in the last almost 40 episodes, but for the most part, there have been new things to do every now and again, and yeah, I'm just trying to keep it from being too sameish. So I think what we are going to do next episode is get the Tronco, deliver some of the furniture using that, and we'll go from there. That's gonna be it from my end for today. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time. Till then, bye bye. Have a good one.